was a good quesadilla. I was going to share it with you guys, but they're playing a lot of loud music, and I don't want to be that one guy in the corner and people are moving around everywhere. I'm like, better do it outside. Better do it outside. Waiting for the notifications to go out. If anybody shows up, everyone might be watching Monday night college football. What's up, Charles? Hey, I got my earbuds in. Can you hear me all right? Is the audio... Check it. Hey, Sid. Hey, Sid, I was asking Charles, but can you guys hear me okay through the earbuds? Is it coming through? Anybody? Nobody? Can you hear me? Guys, thank you. God bless. Sitting there asking, hey, can you hear me? God. Thank you. Farewell address speaking about political factions. I challenge you to read it. It's been a long time since the Reddit diver. Yes, I have read it. Yes, they did try to warn about political factions, and that was a pipe dream. It was never going to happen. Factions were always going to become a thing in the United States. Any political system is going to have factions. That's just the way there is. One group or another is going to be vying for power, and it's unavoidable. Do you know where the shooter was in relation to Kirk? Well, he was on top of the building, 200 yards away. Somebody tried to give me shit the other day, saying, You didn't research. It was 500 yards away, TC. That's 200. Every other thing I said was 200. It was 200 yards. That's cool, Charles. Thank you. Yeah. But it's just a lot actually went down today, and some of it got overshadowed because of what obviously happened to Kirk and people getting melting down because they're being fired for opening their traps and not, the golden rule of time and a place. It's like the guy that I shared a Fox News article about a guy getting tuned up in Boise because they were having a vigil for Charlie, and he goes out there sort of spouting off at the mouth. Emotions are already running high, so they just turned around and just beat the shit out of the guy. And then they just carried on. And apparently he's a known troublemaker, and he got what he deserved. What's up, Landon? Long time, man. Trying to shoot him to distract from the Epstein files coming out. I don't think so. I don't think that's it at all. That's kind of ridiculous, actually, Diver. Even for you, that's a little far-fetched. Come on, man. Trump values loyalty. He's a very loyal guy. He may be a shitbag, adulterer, and whatever, but he's very loyal to the people that are loyal to him. And Charlie was very loyal to Trump, so no, he did not whack Charlie. That's kind of ridiculous. I just had a nice dinner. I was gonna do this inside, but they were playing the music too loud, and they would have made the whole experience pointless. Oh, and a chum. Yeah, see, now you're just throwing allegations out there that you got no evidence of, man. Now, if it turns out the guy is a chomo, hey, I'll be the first one out there calling for his expulsion and being thrown to a wood chipper, all right? But you don't have any of that. And quite frankly, I didn't hear this kind of vindictive vitriol coming from you and others that frequent the channel diver about Biden. Remember when his daughter's diary went missing, and it detailed all the inappropriate touching and late adolescent showers he would take with her. Even Hunter was calling him Pedo Pete. Remember that? Pedo Pete. Talking about the big guy. That's his own family calling him out. And you just look the other way. He's like, oh, whatever. Because it's our guy, right? When it's your guy, it's okay. But when it's our guy, well, I mean, he gets a firing squad. Yeah, Landon, that's a true thing that happened during the Biden administration, towards the beginning of it, actually. As a matter of fact, when the diary went missing, Biden sent the FBI out to go looking and trying to retrieve the diary because of what she had written in there and didn't want him getting out. So I'm just saying. I, however, if they are a chomo, and I don't care what party affiliation, I think the most prominent Republican one that I can remember is Denny Hassard, and yeah, he got booted the fuck out, as he should, because he was a pedophile shitbag. All right, well then you should have saved some of that energy when Biden was in office. That's all I'm saying. You notice they voted against releasing the Epstein. I just found out about that. That's very disappointing. Not unexpected. Guys, I don't. You even have the witnesses, the people that were involved, the victims of Epstein Island. I was like, no, it wasn't Trump. He wasn't out here fooling around. He might have hung out, but he wasn't fooling around. The one that was fooling around are people like Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton. Now, Clinton, still being an ex-president and a popular one at that, would still be a very embarrassing situation for the United States. We're not in the habits of going after our politicians and throwing them in jail, even though they may deserve it. I'm just saying, there's people on that list. It wouldn't surprise me if Hillary was out there. A lot of people are out there, and they should go to jail. People shouldn't be above the law, but in reality, there are people that are above the law, and it's sickening. But what the hell can we do about it? And at the end, so yes, I think the birthday thing is bullshit. I think the birthday thing is bullshit. Because it's not how Trump talks. It would not surprise me if they lifted his signature, and then, because he's obviously signing a lot of shit, his signature's floating around. It wouldn't be anything to lift his signature, throw it on a fucking card, and print it off somewhere. I'm just saying that these things are all possible, and they're not that hard to do. But whatever. And for the record, even if Trump did send that birthday card to Epstein, you have to realize the time frame of when that letter was sent out and the context. Again, Trump, he likes women, adult women. He wasn't going after little girls. Does that make him a kind of a shitbag? Yeah. Does it make it illegal? No. So I don't know. It's just you're stretching so hard, and you're wanting something, you're wishing so hard. I gotta put myself up there. You're trying to make something out of whole cloth and out of context. Hold on, I'm getting a bunch of naughty messages. Well, I don't, Diane. No, I don't. But obviously I have women in my family. I wouldn't want them touched inappropriately, and I'm not justifying some of the shit Trump's done. Obviously, he screwed around with a porn star when he was married. Was it illegal? Do we have adultery laws now? I'm just asking. But she was clearly an adult. You know? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. You want me to justify a moral character of a person that obviously is very flawed, but his actions, at least to this point, have not been criminal. If it turns out that he is a criminal, as far as, fooling around with minors, yeah, he should do time. Absolutely. I'm with you. But there's no evidence of that. Yes, he did. That's not illegal. Having a person sign an NDA and you pay them off not to blab about their personal experiences together is not illegal. If it was Clinton, he would have just had it whacked. At least he wrote her a check. That was another point I was going to make, Sid. I mean, it's obvious, right? They sent the FBI to raid the man's house over some bullshit with the archive department. And they handed him a $100 million lawsuit from her fake rape case. They tried to get another $300 million out of him with Letitia James in New York City. So yeah, they were throwing the book at the man. And believe me, if there was anything, any inkling of a hint of any kind of connection of Trump fooling around with little kids on Pedo Island, they would have used it, because the worst case scenario happened for them. He gained power back, and look what he's doing with it. So trust me when I say that if they had anything tying him to Epstein, they would have used it well before the election, because that's how they roll. But it didn't happen because there's nothing there. You're just trying to make something. You're being like Peter Pan, wishing you were in Never Never Land, right? You're wishing by the third star to the left, and you think that's going to take you to the promised land, and that all your dreams and wishes will become true. But it's just not. That's not reality. Well, obviously, yes, but what he did with Stormy Daniels was not illegal. Is my point. She's clearly an adult. What two consenting adults do with each other and the privacy of their lives is between them. And he just wanted to make sure the story didn't get out, because obviously he's married. Yeah, I'm not saying what he did was ethical, Diane. Don't get it twisted. But what he did was not illegal. Yeah. What's up, JF? I thought T was doomed after he did. Spectator of Caesar's games. Are you entertained? Yeah, well, I'm not entertaining people getting blown away. I mean, it's been predictable for a while, but I'm not reveling in it. But the point I was going to make, and this is just me thinking out loud, guys, because as many of you know, I take a macro view of things, and I just my brain will put shit together sometimes, and I want to see if it makes sense to you. All right, so this news cycle started off with there was that guy that beat the shit out of that wrestler, right? It was a wrestling work that went wrong. So he had PTSD because he got hit with a gimmicked beer bottle in the back room. He didn't realize he was part of the show, and then he goes out in the ring and beats the crap out of him. It's like, okay, that was crazy. And then it was shortly followed up with the Ukrainian lady getting stabbed in the neck. I'm like, okay, that's crazier. That's crazier. And then some really wild shit went down just the other day. It was a congressional hearing about UAPs, UFOs. And they showed a video off the coast of Yemen last October. It was a footage from a drone. And there was 2 drones involved in this in the scenario, and they shot a Hellfire missile at this thing. They didn't know what the hell it was, but the missile hit the object but didn't detonate. It doinked right off the thing. It dislodged 3 orbs off the craft, but it stayed with the mothership, and it just kept on trucking. It didn't care. It didn't care. And then they had George Knapp and others giving testimony. That was huge. For me, that was huge. I had never seen that video before. Yeah. The congressmen and women that saw the video were gobsmacked. As I think, I know I was. I'm like, holy shit. This is like, you can see it. It's not like the Bigfoot or the Zapruder film. You know, it's like, okay, you saw the object. You saw the missile clearly doink off the thing, so it did hit. You can see the 3 objects being dislodged off the mothership, and it stays with the mothership, and it just keeps trucking. Didn't care. Didn't miss a beat. The next day, after all that information was released to the public, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. You know, possibly coincidence, but some of you guys are talking about the Epstein files, and that having Trump had Kirk assassinated because of the Epstein files. When I'm like, if you're going to go that route, then huge news about actual aliens on Earth. And I know it sounds bizarre, but on Earth right now, they've probably been here for some time. Here's a video, and it gets completely buried in the news. Chachi, I'm telling you, it was the damnedest thing I ever seen. It's like military drones. This wasn't some bullshit AI video. It was verified military video. And they showed it clear as day. I mean, you saw the missile come off screen. You saw it doink right off the craft. You saw the 3 orbs clearly disengage from the mothership, and it stayed in the flight pattern with it, and it just kept going. I was like, holy shit. It doesn't get much more disclosure than that, folks. They're not bringing bullshit AI videos to Congress for a congressional hearing because you're under testimony. You're under you'll be charged with perjury. You understand? When you go testify in front of Congress, you're under oath, just like you're in a courtroom. Now they said it was a hellfire. Everything's going to be deep fake now. Everything's going to be a deep fake. Everyone's going to not believe it. Everyone's desensitized. It's just, it's like it never happened. It just like, they're showing you evidence that we're not alone here on the planet. The technology is not ours. It's certainly not the Russians or the Chinese, because our technology is still well beyond theirs. You understand? And that was like generationally beyond what we got. You hear the testimony from the people in the service. You have the testimony of the investigative reporters who have been chasing these stories for the last 30 years. What's up, Outlaw? He should be. He damn well should be. That's what that just circles back to what I said earlier. Some people are above the law, and he's got a blanket pardon too, right? So they can't even go after him because he has a blanket pardon that was issued to him. Now, do we know if that was one of the pardons signed by the auto pen or not? I don't know. But Biden basically forgave him all in any crimes, probably like it was like something ridiculous. It was like 10 or 20 years. It's like, That's why he was so flippant and open with his interview last month. You remember that on the podcast? Just laying it all out there. Yeah, I heard Atlanta. Yeah, I heard. I'll have to do a coach video one day. It just right now I'm just trying to put some things together here in my head, see if it makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're literally a monkey helping football, but where a lot of our technology has been coming from makes a lot of sense, right? So maybe we did pick up some crashed stuff, and we were able to eventually backwards engineer some of the technology. Obviously, not all of it, but we made a pretty big damn leap in my generation alone. You went from an analog phone that you could use a pencil for the rotodial to now I got a fucking TV broadcasting live to the world in my hand right now. This is back in the 80s. This was Star Trek shit, like literally Star Trek shit, and it happened like that. I mean, if you look at the scope of our, human history as we know it for the last 10,000 years, we pretty much stayed the same relatively. The changes would come incrementally. It wasn't happening all at once like it is right now. So either we got super brilliant over the last 150 years, or we've had a little boost, right? Like we found something and we figured a little bit of shit out, or at least we have a direction to point our science to that we know that it's possible. What's up, Dylan? Yeah, Ken, and and I'm glad you brought that up because that's where I was going to end this with. We have all this shit going on right now, right? Today, I don't know if you're aware, but Tommy Robinson over in the UK had over 3.2 million people show up to a protest. He got buried by the Charlie Kirk stuff here in the States, but 3 million people showed up for an anti-migrant protest in Britain today. Huge news. Just last month, Indonesia was in the process of overthrowing their government. I haven't followed up with that. I don't know how far they got with it, if they were successful or not. Just the other day, Nepal did. They did. The government was trying to stifle social media, and the youngsters over there weren't having it, and they literally overthrew the government and burned down parliament, set some politicians on fire and hung others, and the rest fled for their life. That happened. It seems like an awful lot's happening all at once. They're assassinating AfD politicians over in Germany, the Alternative for Deutschland party. France's parliament just collapsed. They're going to have to reform another government. That's huge news, guys. And then by the end of October and the beginning of November, 3I Atlas, as Ken just stated, will be near Mars. It's a larger object from interstellar space than what Oumuamua was. I'm trying to remember when that was. 2019 when Oumuamua came around. They weren't sure what that was. They had a lot of speculations. But it very well could have been a probe for this thing to come following it. We don't know what the hell it is, guys. It's too bright. It doesn't have the regular properties of a comet or even an asteroid. It's too bright, and it's made of too many refined metals, specifically nickel. That's not normal. Just to have this thing whizzing from interstellar space, not even along our plane, right? It's like you got a flat plane. This thing came in like at a right angle. That's not normal to where we're at. Maybe one day feline. I don't know, man. I've been kind of hermiting. I pop in on Discord. I enjoy it. I'm not in control of the room. I tried sharing it out before, and I got the usual suspects going there and just causing problems. So I'm like, whatever. Yeah, there you are. There are smoke. But no, I mean, there's an awful lot happening, guys. Awful lot happening. And that's not including. I mean, yeah, we obviously just had that thing happen here in the United States, mainly with Kirk. But I mean, well, like you said, with the Epstein files that got voted against, and then obviously the whole cities apparently are emptying out in Southern California because the illegals are going back home, which they said was impossible, but it's happening. And somebody had made mention of the farmers, and I have no sympathy for them. I have no sympathy for the businesses that relied on illegal labor, because they never should have been relying on illegal labor to begin with. And yes, Americans will work those jobs. They just weren't going to work for them at those wages. All right, so we have labor laws for a reason. We don't allow kids to work because the corporations were forcing our kids into the mines. All right, and they were getting black lung disease by the time they're 15. We have labor laws for a reason, and they are important, and they're not to be scoffed at, and they are to be enforced. So if you're a farmer and you've been overly reliant for your business model on illegal labor, you deserve to have your farm confiscated and you put in prison for a very long time, because they're part of the problems about becoming the incentive for people to come and break the law. And it's causing a huge amount of problem, especially in Latin America. Not specifically in Latin America, but a large of it, because we share a border with Latin America. And it's causing a lot of problems, especially with emboldening the cartels and enriching them, because now those farmers and ranchers and other businesses that rely on illegal labor are now tangentially involved with the cartels in human trafficking. They're responsible for it because they want to save $5 an hour and not pay a proper wage. Hey, I've got no problem with private sector unions. I never have had. Now, I've never been part of one, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, public sector, the FBI, the police, the teachers, no. I mean, because they're getting paid with taxpayer dollars, they should not be allowed to unionize. That's just how I feel about it. Now, private sector, absolutely. Absolutely. Because they have to work synergistically with the company to make sure the company stays healthy. So the company can stay competitive and they can eventually pay out their pensions over time. So they want what's best for the company. So they cooperate. The public sector unions are parasitical. They don't give a shit. They're not there for a profit motive. They don't give a fuck what happens in their department. And they're always going to get their money because they get paid from the public largesse through us, the taxpayers. Oh, and by the way, their bosses are the politicians, and since they have a voting block, they basically vote for their boss, and if their boss doesn't comply by giving them the contracts they desire for their union, they vote them out and bring the next asshole in. It's completely counterintuitive, and there's too many special interests involved, and they should not exist. You're for forced labor. Yeah. I just went over that, Max. I wasn't looking at the chat, but yeah, I just went over that. Public sector unions should not exist. Period. If you're being paid by taxpayer money, you should not be able to unionize. And you know, that used to be against the law. You know, the great lauded Democrat FDR, during his administration, had outlawed public sector unions. They didn't come back around until after he died in office. So look it up. We already are, Sid. We already are. We sank that boat full of Trinidad Aragua people. He wasn't fucking around. Did you see the sheer amount of naval military hardware he sent to do the blockades and to hunt these people down? I also saw things a while back where they had like cartels, like a stronghold or whatever on an island, and they just blew it off the map. Trained their guns on it, big old ship guns, and just blew the shit out of it. They're not playing around. Trump is not playing. Well, that's true, and that's why we have this populist revolution going on. Because people are fed up. And it's not just here, guys. Like I said, it's the United Kingdom as well. 3 million people showed up for a protest today. And they don't have freedom of speech like we do. Like, they don't even really have it at all. So, they're actually putting their asses on the line when they go out and protest, because they can't protest like we do here in the States and not worry about somebody come knocking on their door to take them off to the police station for questioning. I'm still outside. Yeah, because I had a long day, man. I had a long day. I didn't want to be in the truck. Yeah, we're going to war with cartels. We're going to go war with Russia. We're going to go war with each other. We're just going to war. That's why it's the Department of War now. You see that? It's not the Department of Defense anymore. We went back old school. It's the Department of War. Yeah. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Now, in Nepal, they protested it and it turned into an immediate revolution, and they wound up actually taking over the country. When they went out and protested the social media ban against their prime minister, I don't think those guys were anticipating actually overthrowing the government and taking control. Now that they got control of that country, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with it. It's the damnedest thing. It's almost like a second French Revolution, right? They were a monarchy, then the monarchy gave way to a republic. The republic turned out to be tyrannical, and now you had a bunch of commie infiltrators and influencers in there, and it was lowering the living standards of the Nepalese there. And then they tried to stifle the internet, basically, and the 20-year-olds went out there and went, no, we're not doing this. and then they went out and actually overthrew the government, hung some people, and burned down Parliament. So now they had an accidental revolution, and now they actually won. And it's like the proverbial dog that chases the car, and then one day it catches it. And it's like, what does it do with it then? Well, that's kind of what they're in right now. They caught the car. Now what? Yeah. We're still talking about Hirschbach. You got real shit going on. You want to talk about that dipshit? God bless. I'm assuming Narc has already done a video on it, right? Yeah, I heard. Can't believe it. We got UFO disclosure. We got people being assassinated. We got 3 million man march. You want to talk about that dipshit? Some fucking hillbilly, mashed potato brained, lying son of a bitch from Kentucky. You want to talk about that asshole driving for some fucking basic bitch starter company? I mean, you want to talk about that? That kills me. I have been, yeah. I've been busy. I'm feeling pretty good though. I'm feeling good, man. I've been working out when I get to the house, and I'm feeling great. I'd flex for you, but I don't want to get called out by certain fucking toothless motherfuckers from Oklahoma. It's like, oh my God, he's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it again, guys. He's gonna flex for you. You'll just have to take my word for it. Coaches, deep state. Coach, I can't even call him coach. He's not a coach. He doesn't teach anybody anything. He's Jason. And Jason is a lying, conniving huckster that will walk across your corpse and take the last $5 out of your cooling hand to make a buck. And he doesn't give a fuck about you or what kind of situation he put you in. He's just going to pimp out whatever because he thinks he's the greatest salesman ever. And I've talked about it in the past. I said his advice actually hurts people. I got criticized for that. I still stand by it. I even used him as an example of how his advice had hurt someone. And I tried to use the most public example I could. And I was correct then. I'm correct now. His advice hurts people. Don't listen to Coach. He's a dumbass. He's certifiable crazy. 70% so by the U.S. government. And he showed us his form. And that's why I know about that, because he showed that paper. So he's certifiably crazy. And he's on powerful enough meds where Crete wouldn't take him back, if you remember. But he's going to go out there and give you advice on taking a job when he can't hold one himself. So, there you go. Yeah. Well, I do the Keenan shuffle. Yeah. You just want to see my hose. See, us tanker guys, we got long hoses, and I know you want me to do that. You want me to spin it around, but I have new people in the chat. I'm not sure they're down for that. Jason's been immortalized by a lot of people. I think it started with LBC, honestly, because LBC is the first one that I can remember that went out and bought a prop when he had a mask of Jason made so he could wear it and do his little voice. So I will credit LVC for starting the Pope train on making fun of a hillbilly dipshit out of Western Kentucky. It was a medical grab this book. Yeah, LBC is a funny guy. I mean, he went different routes. We all go different routes, right? So, I mean, I used to be in the trucker drama, then I got tired of that shit, so I went more political because that's what I actually give a shit about. I had made my point with the dumbasses, and I won, right? So, I don't know what to say about it. I won. But unfortunately, when you win, you're kind of out here by yourself, like, well, fuck, what do I talk about now? And I'm like, I just don't have the passion for it anymore. And every once in a while, they'll pop their heads up, but it's like everyone knows they're fucking dipshit failures and can't get out of their own way. So it's just like, how many times can you say that? You know, I guess you can keep playing whack-a-mole. I'm not going to chase them across all the various social media platforms because I don't really give a shit. But I had my fun in the sun fucking with those guys, made my point, and I made them look like incredible assholes that they are. Oh, did LBC finally send out the narc? That's cool. Yeah. There's no way that he lost his marbles doing a 4-year commitment with the Marines when he was stationed at the White House. Wasn't it Little Blog that came up? Yeah, he was so traumatized that he had the squeaky door of 94. Remember that? The squeaky door of 94. Unless Clinton, I don't know. Could you imagine Private Pote walking around, bumping into shit at the White House back in the 90s when Clinton was there? It would not surprise me if he accidentally walked in the Oval Office because he heard some screaming, and that's when he saw Monica Lewinsky splayed out on the fucking desk with a fucking cigar sticking out of her cooch. That probably traumatized. That would give me PTSD, I think. Maybe that's what happened. He was there when all that shit was going down. So maybe he did see some shit. Maybe Clinton put him through some shit. I don't know. I personally, yeah, he was. He was stationed at the White House when Clinton was there, and that shit was going down with Monica Lewinsky. So, personally, I think he was a waterhead before he got in the Marines, but the Marines is a tough organization, and I think it just compounded his mental illness, and him being a huckster that he is, was able to ferret out some PTSD money for the rest of it. See, normally when you're in the military, you got to do like a 20-year commitment to get like a full retirement. He was able to weasel his way out for a 70% retirement for a 4-year commitment. I mean, it's just like, I mean, it's laudable you went in the armed forces. I mean, it's something I could never do because of my asthma. I mean, I tried, but I couldn't get in. And so I can't take that away from him. But what I can say is, he didn't deserve a full retirement coming out for 4 fucking years, and he never served a day one in combat. He wasn't at Desert Shield, he wasn't at Desert Storm, he wasn't any of that shit. He wasn't in Yugoslavia. He was in his fucking dress blues, you know, holding the fucking leash of the dog so it doesn't piss on his boots at the White House. I'm just saying. Nah, I think Hillary swings with Huma Abedin. I think she has a taste for the fairer sex, if you know what I mean. Yeah, whatever. I mean, if she's bi, but I don't think Clinton is. I think Clinton likes the ladies a little. We know he likes the ladies. I've never seen him palling around with a guy. Is that gunshot? No, it's not gunshot. It's just cars going by. It's uncanny how much Pope was a private pile from Florida Jack. I can't say that Jason has one of those mashed potato faces that's perfect for the AI for the face swaps. I did enjoy leading the charge on the face swaps with Pote. Every other people, especially if you have facial hair, it didn't work, right? So I didn't come out very well, and there's some others. But Pote, being clean shaven with the mashed potato face, because it's all unique and it's all lumpy and bumpy, it was perfect on the first try every fucking time. And it was always funny. Well, obviously she took some dick at some point because she had Chelsea, right? So at some point she did take some dick. I'm just saying that she probably likes the ladies too. I don't think it was any, because Huma Abedin was the wife at the time of Anthony Weiner. Remember Anthony Weiner, the up and coming Democrat that everyone loved, until he came out to be Carlos Danger, was being a sex pest online. I got busted for that. Well, Huma Abedin was his wife. They'd been divorced for a while, but yeah, they were all involved with that shit. Huma Abedin wasn't bad looking, so I'm just saying. Oh my God. We definitely would have went to war with Russia. That's what they were itching for. All the influence peddlers and the Defense Department and the contractors and all that, they were gearing up to go to war with Russia, beginning with Syria, and they were super pissed that their plans fell through because Trump did not send the forces into Syria. That's what they wanted to do. Bill's and Janet Reno. My God, no, Janet Reno. She's got a special place in hell for me, man. That dumb bitch. You understand? I grew up in Texas, and what they did at Waco was only like an hour away from me. So every day at the beginning of school, we got updates on what the hell was going on with the Branch Davidians, and then we saw the ATF and the FBI gassing those people for hours with the CS gas, and then ignite it, and everything went up in a fireball. And then when the people were trying to evacuate the building with their hands up in the air, including women and children, they were shot. They were shot. You know, it's not talked about a lot, but it pissed a lot of people off. That's why Oklahoma City happened, by the way, guys. You know, Timothy McVeigh and who was the other guy? Nichols. What the fuck was his name? Terry Nichols? No, Oklahoma City specifically was retribution against me, because the person that was in charge of the ATF, he was in the FBI as well. They were out of the Oklahoma City office, and that's where Timothy McVeigh went over with that Ryder truck full of the diesel and the fertilizer and blew it up, specifically because of what happened at Waco. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Killeen. Killeen, a military town, and Waco was just like an hour up the road, really. It wasn't that far. And of course, it was big news because it's Waco. I mean, Waco was just a college town with Baylor, right? And in the end, I mean, they had an alternative lifestyle, the Branch Davidians, but they weren't hurting anybody. And they primarily made their money off of gun shows, which is completely legal. And they went after him. They just didn't like the fact that he created this cult out there. But they made some bullshit up, like he was abusing the kids and other bullshit. None of that happened. None of that was going on. He was just fucking other people's wives. They were offering him. The guys were offering their wives to David Koresh. He created a little harem out there and had some kids, and they were doing their own thing. I mean, is it weird? Yeah, but it's not the weirdest thing I've ever seen as far as cults go. They just kind of kept to themselves, and they made money the legal way. Until it was decided that they didn't want these people on the doorstep. I heard that was a thing, yeah. I think they were going to relax the restrictions. I think the newer diesel trucks won't even have to worry about using DEF. I think they might be getting rid of that. Don't quote me on that. I know a lot of people want to say, oh my God, you said it. That's what I heard a couple of months ago. Where is it at now? I don't know. But I know that was one of the things they were tossing around. Now they can put things through committee and through a question answer period, and then they decide later on. DEF for the new trucks may not be a thing of the past. Oh yeah. Well, you might want to wait until they get rid of the DEF. I think they did relax. I think they are allowing gliders to come back now. I know they're banned under Biden. I think gliders are a thing again. And fuck, there was something else that's on the tip of my tongue. I haven't thought about that shit in a couple of months. But I know they were changing some things up. The Reno was responsible. The Clinton administration was really awful with this. I mean, they were so authoritarian. I know Ruby Ridge happened technically under Bush, but they got passed over and finalized with Janet Reno, and she was heavy-handed with it. Branch Davidians. The one that still sticks in my craw is Elian Gonzalez. I don't know if you guys remember that situation. It's awful what they did. I mean, little Elian came over with his mother and her boyfriend, but they drowned. He made it to shore. He had an uncle and a cousin that were willing to take care of him. There's no stipulation at the time about an age requirement to qualify for asylum from Cuba to the United States. So lawfully, he even though he was like 6, something like that, he was very young, he'd still qualify for asylum under the law. But they changed it because his dad, which we knew nothing about, but his dad was still in Cuba. And he's like, oh, I want my son back. So now we got to send this poor little boy back to Cuba. Even though I know that's his father, but from what they were talking about, he wasn't really part of his life, right? Because the mom obviously had moved on from the guy. They were kind of estranged. Yeah, it's that normally your childhood's a very small part of your overall lifespan. So instead of living here with his uncle and his cousin, they sent him back to a fucking totalitarian communist country. Even though law stipulates that if you're from Cuba, you can claim asylum. So basically, he escaped the Shark Tank, and they just threw him back in there, and that was Janet Reno. Madeleine Albright too. That stupid brooch bitch. I can just, are they? Well, I heard some different things about DEF, that it was being aerosolized, and then it was, Yeah, it looks like it keeps the pollution down because it masks the tailpipe smoke, but then the aerosolized urea that the DEF is made out of carpets everything around it, and I guess that is becoming a big problem going through like agricultural areas. So now you got a film of urea over everything, and that can't be healthy. Oh, really? You know, I used to work out of Waco all the time, and I never went out there. I may have to do that sometime, just on the next day off. Maybe just take like a road trip. What's going on, DJ? The NAFTA deal. I know. I know. Well, at least we got that renegotiated the first Trump administration with the USMCA. I mean, I don't know the particulars if it made anything better or not. You know, I'm not in the business of shipping freight between Canada and Mexico, the rates and all that bullshit. I know certain laws are being abused, and they were abused during NAFTA. They're being abused now. I mean, we've all seen it, right? Because we're truck drivers. You know, the Canadian guys or the Mexican guys, they're allowed to bring a load in, and they're allowed to pick up a load and take it back home, right? Perfectly legal. But some of these assholes, and it's depressing our wages, decide they don't want to go home just yet. They're going to sit there and dick around in the interior of the U.S., picking up and delivering freight before they decide they want to go home. And that's a real problem. I know some people were pointing it out on social media about these loads that were advertising like on the DAT board that were like super low rates, and they were specifically low enough where they were not attract. From what I was told, if you called that number and you spoke English, they'd hang up on you because those loads weren't for Americans, even though they were picking up and delivering in the United States. So the brokers should also be feeling the pinch and going to jail as well. You know, what I always think should happen isn't always what's going to happen. So I'm a bit more forceful than a lot of people. If I were in charge, I would have a lot more boots on necks and forcing people to do what they're supposed to be doing, and I'm broken no bullshit about it. So when some of these people get, when like the National Guard and all them, or ICE, they're coming out, they're being heavy-handed, I'm like, yeah, this should have happened a long time ago. And it's worse. It's only worse now because you allowed it to go on for so long. Is that if you stayed on top of it from the very beginning and didn't allow this to happen, it wouldn't be like this. But you allowed it to get out of control, and now order must be maintained. So now it looks bad for the TV cameras, and my heart is hardened enough where I just don't give a shit. To be perfectly honest, I don't know. Are you going to run for Texas president if we secede? I guess it depends who I'm running up against, right? I'm just one of them dumb truck drivers. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be president. Maybe the head of the secret police. I could do that. I'll disappear some motherfuckers quicker than you can say abracadabra. That would happen. That would happen. Some people will be walking across the parking lot, they're gonna throw that bag around their fucking head and get thrown in their trunk somewhere after being tased a couple times and quit squealing. Never to be seen again. Maybe we'll see. We already have. We already are. That's what the cartels are. With the drug and human trafficking. That's kind of what the pirates are doing, right? And then you have gangs, the gang warfare. You know, they're just on the land instead of on the water. I mean, these cartels are billion-dollar organizations that we allowed to happen. It's the stupidest thing ever. It's completely destabilized our southern border in Mexico, and we should want a strong and healthy and stable Mexico But instead, we have a failed narco state that's a basket case, and they're hitting each other in the halls of their parliament. You know, they're getting in actual fist fights. They can't have a damn election for president without 37 candidates being assassinated. So, in a highly patrician and Catholic society, you wind up with this middle-aged Jewish lady as El Presidente. Go figure that one out. I think the people just ran out of choices because all their choices got assassinated on the way to the ballot box. So she was kind of like literally the last one standing. No. I live in a little blue-collar town, man. I mean, I can't say that there isn't bullshit going on there, because I'm sure there is. I just, I'm not aware of it. But I'm sure there are usual teenage bullshit happens. Driving armored heavy transport convoys would be cool. Well, you got to get food to the grocery stores in Chicago somehow. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, Sid. I'm sure it's, yeah, they got billions and billions of dollars. I'm sure they definitely bought the Mexican government, so there's no reason why, and I think the CIA, our CIA, was complicit in a lot of these guys being established, to be honest. I think they allowed the drug trade to happen because it's an easy way to launder money, like Black Ops money, where those, $100 hammers that you get at Home Depot for $10. I think that has a lot to do with it. The CIA are a bunch of unscrupulous shitbags, and a lot of them should be tried for treason, honestly. A lot of people should be swinging from the gallows for being traitors to this country. That's how I would handle things. If I were in charge, I would be authoritarian as fuck. I would take the traitors, the communists, the Marxists, and I would start swinging them. It'd be a fire sale on rope. I couldn't get it fast enough. True story, straight up. They're traitors. They're traitors to our country and trying to bring our country down, and they shouldn't be tolerated. But that's just me. I don't have any power, so all I can do is talk and gripe and bitch about it on YouTube. So every time I see one of getting some of our own back by cracking some heads in the streets because they fucking well deserve it, I'm rooting that shit on, like legit. Like, yeah, go get them, go get more. If I was talking to a guy, it's like, if I were in charge, I'd definitely be going after Antifa. And what I would do is I would set up like another Patriot prayer group to go to Portland. And then, but I wouldn't have, hell, I may even allow some Proud Boys in there just to be bait. And when the night starts settling and the black bloc comes out and they come out in mass, that's where I would have my soldiers come pouring in the buildings that I had stationed around like motherfuckers up. I'd send them right to a goddamn Guantanamo Bay. All those fucking LARPing ninjas, anarcho-communists, I would get them to Guantanamo Bay as quick as I fucking can. So I couldn't hear any squealing from any judges about, trials here in the United States. They'd already be overseas and they couldn't touch them. That's how I would handle it. No, they're more than an idea. They're a splinter cell terrorist, domestic terror organization is what they are, and they're well funded. I would round up every last one of them sons of bitches. Every last one. A lot do Atlanta. I mean, you're seeing a minority of people out there protesting. There are quite a few people out there that have been terrified in their neighborhoods for so long. I mean, but you heard them. You heard, it's like when Trump was floating the idea of bringing the National Guard to Chicago, you heard him. It's like, please get here quick. You shouldn't have to live in terror like a fucking animal just because you're poor, especially here in the United States. Poor people need more protection than anybody else with the law on their side, because that's where a lot of the violent crime, right? You'll have a lot of the white-collar crime and some drug bullshit with like the white-collar people and people with money, but the poor people, It gets more violent. You need more of a physical presence there to enforce the law to keep people from killing each other. Yeah. And it hurts everyone. I mean, these flash mobs hitting the grocery stores, and then they start bitching about food deserts. Well, I understand because the businesses can't stay open. They're not just going to sit. They're not a free for all, right? They're not. They're not. They're there to make money and provide a service. They're not there just for somebody to fucking literally drive a car through the door. 100 motherfuckers come in with masks on and just basically act like a swarm of locusts, and now the rest of the people in that community don't have a place to go to buy their damn food. It doesn't have to be that way. It never did. It just needs more law enforcement. And then you get these dipshits out there with bleeding hearts. Oh, well, we need to defund the police. We need less police and more counselors. Oh, really? So you're going to counsel that group of 100 armed people from driving that car through that fucking window and wiping out that store. That's what they need. They need counselors and hugs. No. They need a boot to their fucking neck and force them to behave in civilized society. That's what they need. They need the boot to the neck. And that's just a fact of life. I came to that reality a long time ago, especially when I was a prison guard. I was completely out of my depth and element when I took that job. But I saw the people that were there. And I could tell you from firsthand experience, that's exactly where they belong. They belonged in that fucking prison. Nowhere else but that prison. They were fucking animals. You just don't know. I mean, you think you know until you work there. And you're like, you see the teeming mass of humanity, a septic pus of fucking society that made its way into our legal system and got dumped in one area. And yeah, interacting with those sons of bitches. That's exactly where they belong. Well, I wasn't part of a union. We didn't have a union, at least not then. Is that what it is? Is it for the good of is it good for the good of humanity that I have to go back to the NFG? Is that what you're saying, Alex? 7 years can confirm it's the most godless city to Southerners. Yeah, that sucks. Well, I am all about government intervention, but the right kind of government, not communist government. I am very much a proud American. I am a civic nationalist. I've never hid that fact away. Not an ethno-nationalist, a civic nationalist. It's a very different thing. And I'm proud to be a nationalist, and we need more nationalism. As a matter of fact, nationalism is spreading around the Western society right now. That's why you're seeing what's happening in Europe right now and the UK. Globalism is a failure. It's been detrimental to the Western way of life and society. It's collapsing our birth rate. We are dying off as a society, and they are treating us like interchangeable economic units that don't matter because they can just plug in some third world asshole from wherever the fuckistan, and it's the same thing to them. And it's not, because culture matters and where you come from matters. And the people have had enough. And you are seeing people rising up in Western society. They have decimated our way of life. They have sold away our birthrights, and they're killing us off. They're killing us off where we can't make babies anymore. I mean, how fucking sad is that? Our young now are going through some shit because they have no future because it was stolen from them. It was stolen from us too, but for them specifically, they can't go out and just go get a job and make their way in the world, start a family, and carry on the bloodline. They can't do it because the economic conditions are so against them that it's untenable. It's completely untenable. And if you bitch about it, they're just going to bring in an H-1B from fucking India to take your job that you went to school for 4 years for. That's news to me, Tyrannus. I didn't know he had a house. I thought he was homeless. I thought he lived in his tent on top of the Subaru. Atlanta. Chicago It's a beautiful city. I used to live near there. I used to live in Indianapolis, and I like to go up to Chicago. My grandfather was originally from Chicago. My favorite team, sports team, is the Chicago Bears, and it has been since I was a little kid. My Texas team was the Oilers, but the Oilers got fucked off and went to Nashville, and I never looked back. I'm never rooting for the Texans. I'm going to talk about the Texans. I'm an Oilers fan. But since they left, I have my Chicago Bears. Now, I can tell you that's been a hard fandom to keep going, burning that candle all these years, let me tell you. Chicago's a beautiful city. It's just they let it go downhill. I mean, bad. And again, it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to let our crown jewel cities become dilapidated and falling down around our ears. We don't have to allow the slums to take over. We don't have to allow the joblessness and the hopelessness and the drug addicts and the flop houses and the cartels and the gang violence. We don't have to tolerate any of that shit. We did not build a society just to allow it to collapse in a quiet desperation like that. We actually can do something about it, and at least Trump, as imperfect as the man is actually attempting to make a positive change as far as that goes. Because of all of his faults, I do think he's a patriot. I think he does actually give a shit about America and Americans. That I honestly believe. Did he really? Hey, if you actually need food stamps, that's what it's there for. I'm not opposed for paying for welfare if you actually need it. You just wanted to be blunt. I get it. It's always one of them, right? All right. I got off of some topics I wasn't going to cover, guys, but I appreciate chopping it up some of the other stuff too. So it doesn't always have to be politics, but there's a lot of it going on right now. A lot of crazy shit going on, and will continue to go on. This is just this week of this craziness. There's more to come. I guarantee you. For my fellow brothers and sisters on the road, man, take care of yourself. It's getting dicey out there. Try to keep yourself on the road, keep your head down. You're grown ass adults. You know how to stay out of trouble. Most people, they can't look at you. I can't say if we can at least make super ego go away because of the ELP mandates being enforced. That'd be great. At least be one shitbag carrier that doesn't exist. So if we could start with that, because it doesn't have to be just the Hispanic ones, it could be the Russian ones too. I know it's a lot of that in Chicago. You clean up a lot of the dirtbag companies like that, then they're going to go a long way to clean up Chicago. Yeah, just trying to break that. All right, thanks for being here. Take care. Peace out.